Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. My name's Nabil. Been doing cold emails for over 6 years. Worked with many different clients across many different industries. Guys starting out, guys doing 6 figures, 7 figures, even 8 figures, right? So, anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is a big problem I see many people face, and funny enough, I faced the same problem the other day, but I resolved it very quickly. So the problem itself is most people don't know when it makes sense to just pay someone to do something for them, or pay someone for their knowledge, or pay for a tool, pay for a software, or even just, yeah, they don't know when, right? And a good example of this is uh, I had a client of mine. Sorry, he wasn't a client of mine, but he was a student in a program where I was teaching. And I helped him with his cold emails, and so in 3 months, he went from like $8,000 a month to $28,000 a month with just my help. So he's doing all the work, but I'm telling him what to do. So, anyways, when he gets to $28,000 a month, he calls me up and he's like, "Hey, Nabil, I really need help." I'm like, "What's up?" He says, "I can't do it anymore." I said, "What do you mean?" Because his revenue had gone up so significantly, he had signed so many clients, he didn't have time to do everything anymore. He didn't have time to do outreach. He didn't have time to do service delivery. He didn't have time to do every single thing, right? So he goes to me, "I want you to take over the outreach part." I say, "Okay, great." We do a deal. He pays me. I'm like, "Cool." First thing I asked him, "What is taking up all of this time?" And to give some background into this client and what his offer is and everything like that, he basically does marketing, like the usual Facebook ads, SEO, whatever. But he does it for very like niche businesses that no one ever thinks to target. Like, I mean, he'll work with like coffee carts and like photo booth rentals. Like he'll work with these super niche down targets, which no one ever thinks to work with. Everyone else is working with restaurants, realtors, chiropractors, whatever. He's working with these ultra niches where there's like barely any customers there, but it just works, right? Because there's a demand for, they need help getting more clients anyways, right? So because of this, because like let's say he works with so many different niches, it's like almost every campaign has to basically be different. And so because of that, he needs loads and loads of leads, but not just one set of leads. He needs like different industries all the time, right? And so a lot of his time was getting spent on just getting leads, right? So I said, okay, well, first thing we need to do is we need to automate that. And I've been doing cold emails for so many years that I know all the tools, tricks, tactics, softwares, whatever, blah blah blah. But this was, even for me, this was a very complex task, because it's no longer about just getting data from one place, right? Which is easy and you can even do it manually in like 5 minutes. It was about getting data from multiple different sources, cleaning, categorizing, organizing it in such a way where it's easy and it won't take too much time. So to build all of this and have it automated, it's not very simple, right? That's the problem. It wasn't a simple thing to build out. And as far as I know, there was not really any solution on the marketplace to deliver exactly what he wanted. So I knew that, okay, we're going to have to build it. So I told him, give me 2 days, right? Because I'm pretty good with like N8N, Zapier, and I know how to code a little bit myself. So I'm trying to build this thing on N8N, right? And you can see like how far I got. Now, this was working, but it was very like janky. After 2 days, I got it to work, but it wasn't 100% perfect. It was like maybe 80, 90% of the way there. Now, I make 6 figures a month. So 2 days for me is like thousands of dollars in lost revenue. 2 days that I had to spend doing this means that I was unable to do other revenue generating tasks. And because I was unable to do them, means that I lost out potentially on like thousands of dollars. Not even potentially, I definitely did lose it, right? Because a better use of my time would have been taking more sales calls, doing more outreach, managing other fucking aspects of the business, right? Whatever. So I lost a few $1,000s just putting this together. And after the 2 days, it still was not done. So I was like, okay, it's probably going to need at least another day if I'm lucky. If I'm unlucky, it's going to take another 2, 3, 4 days, right? So at this point, I was like, okay, I need some help. I've already lost thousands of dollars. I need to get this fixed right now. Call up a good friend of mine, Alex Berman. I'm like, hey, bro, can you help me with this? He goes, I got you. 40 minutes later, 40 minutes after he said, I got you, he coded up the entire thing and gave it to me. He was like, here you go. He didn't even take my whatever I had built. He just done it all from scratch. Like, yep, done. My jaw was like on the floor. I said, bro, in 2 days I couldn't even get it to work. In 40 minutes you got it to work and it's perfect. He's like, yeah. And the reason he was able to do it is because he has become like an expert at coding and software. Like the man is a genius when it comes to that kind of stuff, man. Where I've been more focused on like sales, marketing, and cold email and stuff, he's still an expert in that realm. Don't get me wrong, but his technical knowledge is like way far ahead of mine, right? And I'm not like a stupid technical guy. I'm pretty technical myself, but let's just say I'm like a technical B player, and he would be a technical A player, man. Like he's excellent, right? So, anyways, he builds out this solution, right? And he adds it to one of his companies called Scraper City. So, shameless plug for Alex, because obviously he helped me out. But you can see here he's got the Apollo scraper, Instagram scraper, Google Map scraper, LinkedIn scraper. He's got all of them, right? So he just adds it in here, and he adds the functionality that I needed. And he was like, all right, yeah, it's just, I was like, okay, cool. How much? He's like, yeah, you can just do it for like, give me, just pay for the membership. So the cheapest membership is like $50 a month on Scraper City, I believe. Um, he put me on the 149 a month, which is perfectly fine, right? Because I need a lot of leads, and I'm probably going to pay him more anyways because I'm going to need more leads. But bro, I lost thousands of dollars trying to piece it together myself in 2 days, and it still was not complete. So let's just assume that by the time it's complete, maybe I'm going to lose like $6,000, right? He gave me a solution for $149 a month. Like, at that point, I was just wishing that I had messaged him first instead of trying to build it myself. But I didn't even think to message him first. What a stupid thing of me, right? Like, I should have just messaged him from the get go. And the point I'm trying to make here is, some of you think that you're so smart and you can just build everything and you don't need to pay anyone for anything, and that's fine. You can, right? You can do it if you have enough time and you have enough knowledge and you have enough skills. But the question I'm going to ask you is, does it make sense to do it? Right? Like, all I had to pay to get the solution was $149 a month. Does it make sense for me to waste like God knows how many days and lose $6,000 instead of paying $149 a month? Probably not. Probably not, right? Because even if I got it to work, that's not the end of the story. Maybe after a few weeks it stops working and I have to debug it and this and that, and like troubleshoot and all this other nonsense. So this is not the only time where, I've been at a situation like this, or there's other people in situations like this where it's like you have a choice. You can either pay someone, right, to just kind of shortcut and get to the point, or you can do it yourself. A good example of this is like last month I made $15,500, right? As of the time I was recording last month. So let's just say my average daily income is, I don't know, $500, right? Let's say my average daily income is $500 a day. And maybe I did like 2 hours of work a week, 3 hours. I don't really work that much anymore to make that kind of money, right? But anyways, let's just say my average income daily is like $500 a day. and that's with like very little effort. So I don't clean my house. I don't cook. I have a wife who she used to clean and cook, but now she's pregnant. And because she's pregnant, I didn't want her cleaning and cooking anymore. Because I was like, it takes a toll on your body. It's, hard for a woman, when she's pregnant. And I've seen many other women that are pregnant working. I said, I never want my wife to be like that. So I told her, no more cooking, no more cleaning. I'm going to take care of you. Obviously, I have zero desire to cook and clean. Not only am I a terrible cook, I have zero interest in cleaning either. So what did I do? I said, okay, I can either do it myself or I can pay someone to do it. And then the time I save by paying them, I can just do more work and make more money. Not that I need to, because, making $500 a day, you can easily hire a cleaner. You know, I think I pay my cleaner like $500 a month to come twice a week. And she's here for like 6 hours in total, like 3 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Friday. And she does like a deep clean of my entire house, and the outside and everything like that. So point I'm trying to make here is, imagine. Oh, and then also for the food, I don't cook. We basically just order food all the time, right? Like just 24/7, breakfast, lunch, dinner, just order food. So let's say cooking and cleaning, like for food expenses and cleaning, maybe it's like $2,000 or $3,000 a month in total. Let's say 500 for the cleaning and 2,500 for the food, just because the frequency and always ordering from restaurants and not cooking and blah blah blah. So let's just say $3,000 a month it's costing me, but I'm making way more money than that, and every month my income is increasing because that time which I'm saving, I'm able to then use it to work, right? To then make more money. So if I had to spend that time cooking and cleaning and then working, I wouldn't have as many hours in the day to work. And then I would just make less money, right? And then I'd never get ahead because I'm wasting my time cooking and cleaning when I could be doing revenue generating activities, right? And this applies to every aspect of your life and your business. I saw someone the other day bragging about how they managed to build out like a Calendly, um, their own version of Calendly using N8N or something. And it took them like 40, 50 hours to build it. And I was like, bro, let's just say let's say his hourly income is $500, right? As an example, $500 times 50 is $25,000, right? So he basically cost himself $25,000 so he could save $8 a month or $10 a month, whatever it is. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? If he was completely broke, he didn't have any money and he didn't have anything better to do, okay, yeah, sure, maybe it makes sense. But honestly, if you're that broke where you can't afford $10 a month, I think you have bigger problems than, paying for a Calendly subscription. Your first thing that you should be solving is, how do I increase my income, right? Not to be rude, but it's just like that's the first thing you should be thinking about. How do I increase my income to the point where I no longer have to worry about $8 a month subscription, right? Because if you don't have enough income to begin with, nothing else is going to matter. You need to increase your income. You need to increase your value as an individual, as a human being, right? You need to be so useful to people that they pay you whatever you want because they can't lose you. They can't afford to lose you, They're at your mercy because it's like you're so good at what you do that there's no one else that can compete. So that's the point. That's the message I'm trying to make here. It's just like, understand when it makes sense to do something yourself, because there are times where it makes sense to do something yourself, right? And then just know when it makes more sense to like pay someone and shortcut and just get straight to the point, right? Especially for those people that are making like $10,000-$15,000 a month, right? Like, don't be pinching pennies, man. Like, just understand that you're losing money by, not hiring. Like, I swear to God, like if you're over $10,000 a month, there's absolutely zero reason for you to be cleaning your own house and cooking your own food. Genuinely, unless you enjoy it. Like if you actually enjoy cooking and cleaning, by all means, go ahead, be my guest, because I believe people should have passions and hobbies, right? But if you don't, you're just losing more money than you're saving, right? Anyways, that's it for today. Um, if you guys enjoy these videos, as always, like, comment, subscribe if you're watching it on YouTube, and if you want my help, with your cold emails, your outreach, your marketing, or whatever, feel free to check out links in the bio. Click my profile, whatever you want. You can check out my different companies that I own, and yeah, hope you guys found it useful. See you guys in the next one. Appreciate it.